Virgo, this is going to be your general reading for September 2018. Happy birthday if you happen to have your sun in Virgo. Today is actually my daughter's birthday. She turned 11 today. My daughter's a little Virgo. Okay, so this is going to be an 11-card Celtic Cross spread for Virgo rising, Virgo sun, and Virgo moon for the month of September 2018 in Virgo's best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about. I have my screen door open right now so I can keep an eye on my puppy outside. We've got a major festival going on downtown. I actually live in the middle of my town. And so you're probably going to be hearing engines and motorcycles and random things going down the street, but I need to keep an eye on my puppy, so hopefully we won't get too many distractions. This is for Virgo rising, sun, and moon sign in their best, highest good. And after I pick the 11 cards, I'll show them all to you and then I'll get started. Virgo. I hope you guys are well. Okay. Here we go. Just picking the cards, you guys. Okay, I'm going to pick a few clarifiers and then I'll show you. Having to pick a lot more clarifiers than I thought. Okay. Your central experience for the month of September is the Two of Swords. I have to admit this somewhat disappointed me when I saw it. This isn't exactly what I want for you in your birthday month if you happen to have your sun in Virgo. I picked 2 clarifiers to go with that. I intended on just picking 1 clarifier, but I needed a little help figuring out what this is. And so your two clarifiers are the Nine of Wands and the Tower. Let's see if I can angle that for you. It's a strange central experience, you guys. And then your challenge is the Ten of Cups. Don't worry, it's going to get better. Hopefully the entire reading won't be complicated. What is hindering you is the Five of Pentacles. What is helping you is the Nine of Pentacles. At your core is the Empress. That is very nice. I'm glad to see this here. Your recent past, you have Temperance. Your best possible outcome was the Four of Cups, which I have to admit confused me a little bit. And so I picked a clarifier, and luckily for you, your clarifier is the Six of Wands. In the future, you have the Two of Wands, and as a clarifier, I got the Magician. So that looks very good for you. Right now, you are the Ace of Cups. In your surroundings, you have the Four of Wands. Sorry. This is a nice surroundings. Your hopes and fears are the Seven of Wands. And again, this was complicated. Your general outcome, you got the Seven of Swords. I definitely wanted more information about this, and I got the Ten of Swords. And then as just a remedy or hopes I could find something that you could focus on while you're dealing with those two things is the Three of Cups. So, okay. Hang on for one moment. I need to do something with my puppy real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. I gave him some chicken jerky, so that should keep him busy for a while, I'm hoping. So, your central experience for September seems to be that you feel torn or stuck in your own head, or you're not really sure what to choose or what way to go. Feels like eventually you're going to have to make some kind of a decision. It may be that you're fearing that if you make a decision, things will fall apart, or that things are falling apart regardless in a certain way, and so you're not really sure if you should even proceed with this if it's going to fall apart. I don't really know how else to put that. Let me show you the other two clarifiers for this. So one is you're trapped in your own head. Your thoughts might be in some kind of a loop concerning what's available to you or what you need to decide or do at this point. Or you're not seeing your options clearly right now. You may be having to process something that is difficult for you to process, and so none of your options or choices look very good to you at this time. This may be one of the reasons on why you feel stuck in your own head. It seems to me like before you make some kind of a decision or move forward, you have to wrap up old things first. It seems like you're at the very end of a cycle of action steps or things that you have been doing. There's something about this wrapping up process that feels bittersweet to me. Some of you may even be afraid for this thing to end. You may have fully enjoyed yourself in this process. or you've put so much time and effort into this that you're sad to see it go, if that makes any sense, or you're sad to see it come to a close. And so you're not really sure what to do next after this period. Your other clarifier is the Tower, which is an old, outmoded structure in your life or in your being coming to a close or a crash. The Tower usually happens from the divine. Some people are aware enough or have forewarnings enough that something is about to crash and they get out before it crashes. But this tends to happen when we have been hanging on to something either internally or externally that no longer serves us or is no longer sound or solid for us. But we haven't taken the initiative to leave the situation or let go of the situation. And so this is the divine stepping in and removing it for you, which can be quite traumatic at times or feel most definitely unnerving or discombobulating, because everything that you thought was, or some things, or a thing, or everything in your life that felt solid turned out not to be solid the way that you thought. And when it falls apart, it's falling apart in order to make space for you to begin a completely new structure or a new base for yourself or a new support for yourself. But perhaps you have put a lot of time and effort into this situation, or the Tower and the Nine of Wands here may be completely separate things. It may be that you're wrapping things up that you have felt excited about and been putting a lot of energy into, or you're just feeling slammed right now. You're maybe just feeling slammed by a whole lot of things all at once. You may be wrapping things up, having other things fall apart at the same time, and it's a bittersweet, almost confusing feeling for you. You're sad to see some things go, or you're sad to see some things come to a close, and other things you may be surprisingly relieved to see these things go, but it still is making you feel unsure about how to proceed or how to go from here, or what to choose after this period is over. Maybe you didn't see some of these things crumbling, and so you weren't prepared for this completely new slate that's in front of you. And so otherwise you would have possibly thought up some ideas of things you would like to begin after this, but perhaps you didn't really see this coming, and so it's coming as a surprise to you, and all of a sudden you're unsure on what to do next or what to choose. Hopefully this is making sense to you. So what is your challenge is the Ten of Cups. It may be that you've poured a lot of time and energy into creating happiness and fulfillment for yourself in your life. This could be a family situation. This could be love or romantic relationships. This could just be everything that you have built up or grown in your life to give yourself a sense of emotional security and happiness. I am getting a really distinct feeling of bittersweetness here, or of wistfulness or bittersweetness about seeing something go that you poured a lot of your love and energy into over a long period of time, possibly. It could also be saying that you do have a lot of blessings to count and a lot of things to be grateful for, but because you're having to deal with the situation of things falling apart or things coming to a close and feeling undecided on what to do, you may not be seeing your blessings as clearly as usual, or you may be battling with melancholy or unhappiness, or feeling unfulfilled, or you didn't have the happy ending that you have been working towards this whole time, or you have had your happiness, but something about this situation is coming to a close or is changing. And so this is making you feel afraid that you may lose this, feeling of happiness and fulfillment or emotional contentment, or you're afraid of losing your blessings, something like that. Or it just didn't come out the way that you thought. So, what's hindering you is the Five of Pentacles, which is feeling left out or cast out in the cold, or not having what you need. I'm definitely getting that for somebody this has to do with love or relationships, but this can also be other situations as well. This could be family situations or just something that you've put a lot of your heart and soul into, and for whatever reasons it's not quite ending the way that you thought it would, and this is making you feel unacknowledged or unhonored for everything that you have put into this. Or you may simply just be having troubles with money, or having enough money, or having enough of what you need in order to continue or decide what to do next. So this is what is hindering you, is a feeling of being left out, or a feeling of losing what you value, or losing your happiness. So what is helping you is the Nine of Pentacles, which I see you as continuing to cultivate good things in your life, continuing to create stability for yourself and creativity and money situations for yourself. You're definitely self-reliant, and you're definitely able to continue to plug along in your life and get things done and still remain content with what you have, or focus on the good things in your life and focus on the things that need to be done. You definitely enjoy what you're doing, or you enjoy what you do, even though it may be a lot. You have 2 9s in here, 1 10 so far, and then a Tower. So it definitely feels like certain things are coming to a very nice harvest over past efforts and love that you have put into growing certain things. There goes my puppy. I may have to go deal with him. Hang on, I'll be right back. Sorry, you guys. Here I am. Okay, he just needed a lift onto his favorite armchair. I've got a little dachshund mix, and his legs are so short he has trouble jumping up onto things that he wants to be on. One of these days I'll get him one of those ramp things. Okay, so to recoup or catch up on what I was saying before, what I'm seeing in here is that externally, in general, in the month of September, you're putting on a really good face or appearance for other people, but you may be hiding the fact that on the inside you feel torn, you don't know what to do, and you feel like things are falling apart, or something that has existed in your life for a long time or internally is falling apart. But you're doing a really good job of having everyone think that you are fine. I'm looking at, this is you seeming confident, happy, positive, doing your thing, wrapping things up, a great deal of self-confidence. But this is an appearance. This is how you're appearing to other people at this time. But on the inside of this man right here, or woman, this is going on inside of him. I feel like you don't want to trouble people with what you're going through, whether it's an internal process you're going through or an emotional process, or if it's actually something that is going on in your life that is really internally getting to you or affecting you on a very deep level. I'm getting that you almost don't want people to worry about you, or you don't want to seem out of control when really you do feel out of control on a certain level. And out of control not necessarily being that you want to wreck things or lose your temper or anything. You just, it feels like certain things are falling apart for you internally. And you may be trying to distract yourself by fake it till you make it kind of behavior, of just keep on plugging away, staying positive, doing your thing, and hopefully eventually you'll start to really feel that way on the inside. You're being very brave, but I also feel like you really do need to reach out and possibly talk to someone, or have a close friend to talk to about this, where you're getting this out somehow instead of holding it in. And your challenge is that really, on some level, you are very unhappy. And it's possibly because you may feel as though you're losing something that has meant a great deal to you for a long period of time and has already brought you a great deal of joy, but for whatever reasons, things are changing, and this is making you feel very sad, and that is your challenge. You also may feel as though perhaps you don't have anybody to talk to about this, or you don't have anybody to get comfort from about this. You may be trying to shoulder this process on your own. This is what's hindering you, is to feel this way. But what is helping you is to have hands-on things to do to keep yourself busy that you enjoy, and kind of keep your mental state and your emotional state not at bay, but to distract yourself to a certain degree with wrapping things up or getting things done or just simply working or manifesting on an external plane. I feel like externally you're doing very well, but internally you may be going through some very hard things right now. So I am glad to see this. Don't worry, this is going to get better. I feel really bad. I have to tell you this story during your birthday month, but I'm hoping that this applies, or I'm not hoping that this applies. I'm hoping that this is making sense to you. But at your core, though, like I said, it feels very bittersweet. It feels like nobody is at fault for this. It isn't something that is deliberately being done to you. It feels like a natural process. This may be, I'm going to throw a few things out there. Obviously, these don't have to be the case for you, but I am getting some pictures in my head about possibly losing someone that matters a great deal to you, either through illness or through possible death, or situations around you are dramatically changing in a way that isn't exactly healthy. Perhaps there's something going on around you that's a tragedy of sorts, or feels very tragic. And it's nothing that anyone is doing to anybody. It's just something that's happening through life. But this feels as though you have a great deal of love in your heart, and you have a great deal of warmth and feelings of being extremely blessed. Even if you are possibly losing something, this is something that has been around for a long time and has brought you a great deal of love and joy and comfort in your life. This may be one of the reasons on why you're so unhappy, is because all of a sudden your safe place or your safe person or your safe haven is somehow just falling away. But in any case, at your root, there is nothing that you can't handle, and it's all about remaining calm and honoring yourself, honoring how you feel, honoring the process, realizing that inevitably, as human beings in life, we all have to deal with tragedy in one way or another at some point in our lives, and it's just a part of reality and of life in general. But you deeply understand this on a very deep level, that this is a bittersweet part of life, and to still have a great deal of love and honor for what you have experienced so far in your life and the things that have brought you a great deal of love and comfort and prosperity and great comfort to you. Also, I see you as doing fairly well externally as far as money goes, or what you're manifesting in your life, where you're at in your life. I feel like you're in a pretty good place of comfort, or you have what you need. And you do have a great deal of people around you that love you very deeply. You are honored and appreciated by many for what you do for people and for yourself as well. Just to take it easy, take care of your body, take time to rest and to enjoy your life still. Do things every now and then that make you still glad to be alive and that you are doing something meaningful, whether it's going to your favorite beach, going to your favorite quiet spot out in the woods, going on a picnic with a dear friend, just doing those little everyday things that makes you grateful to be alive. And also, women friends or women in general in your life are a very strong sense of support to you at this time. This could be sisters, dear friends, women in your family, your own mother, people in your life that when you are down and when you feel low on the inside, you don't have to put on a face for these people. These people understand exactly where you're at and are there for you to support you emotionally, physically, whatever you need. So I'm tempted to go check up on him again because he's crying. I am so sorry. Unfortunately, this is part of being a single parent. I don't necessarily have anybody around right now to help me with the puppy, and I do have to do this for you. So hopefully I can get him down for a nap or something. I'll see you in 1 second. Okay. We were at your recent past, which is Temperance. Seems like you have been expending a lot of your energy to stay at an even-keeled state. Just in general, just try to stay positive, try to stay even-tempered, to try to blend these extremes that are going on inside of yourself. You've been really trying to have faith and trust in the universe and to get through this period as much as you possibly can. It feels as though because you have to wrap things up, this is actually helping you in some ways because it's I don't want you to distract yourself too much to the point of not feeling your feelings, but it feels constructive to me, these two nines, the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands, this is giving you plenty of things to do to kind of keep your mind off of the fact that internally you're going through some very difficult things. But you have been doing a lot of work on staying optimistic, or at least trying to stay optimistic, to not allow your internal states to knock you completely off balance or knock your existing reality or life you have, knock that off balance. You still have things you have to do, things you have to upkeep and keep up with. And so it almost feels like you can't lose it right now. You have too many things that you're wrapping up and that you have to do, work to do, as well as spending every moment you can enjoying this thing before it completely falls away. Or, feels like something is falling away. You know it's falling away. It may be slowly falling away, or it could just be an internal feeling of that things will never be the same again. And so you're trying to keep your sanity. You're trying to keep your sanity and to continue to be productive and go on with your everyday life. So if you have struggled in the past with things like trust and faith or optimism, or just sticking with things one step at a time, one day at a time, and just trying to keep on having a semblance of calm or balance within your own being, you've definitely been making an effort towards this in the recent past. And I definitely am getting a clear message that you have a great deal of angelic guides or spirit guides protecting you during this time or watching out for you at this time. So your best possible outcome, it feels bittersweet. Or it just feels like things haven't been exactly the way that you would want them to be. You haven't been fulfilled as much as you would like to be emotionally. You may be tolerating a situation in your life because you almost have to. And so even though it's not completely fitting you the way that you would want, you are still trying to make do with what you've got. But your best possible outcome is to not stay in this state of melancholy or sadness for too long. And definitely feel your feelings, and you don't want to suppress your feelings, but you don't want to stay in this state of discontent or sadness or bittersweetness about this. You don't want to wallow in it so much. So your best possible outcome is to focus on what you do have, to focus on the blessings that you do have, and to try to stay positive. And try to do little things. Do simple tasks or fun things to keep yourself occupied and realizing just how lucky you really are. If you have loved something this deeply, where it is affecting you so deeply, to have the possibility of it passing away or leaving your life, you are lucky that you had that experience in the first place. It's kind of like that saying, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. So you definitely want to focus on, you have been extremely fortunate in the fact that you have had this happiness for so long. Not everyone is able to find that. And so, again, it's bittersweet. But your best possible outcome is the Six of Wands. So you may be pleasantly surprised by little victories. You may have some things working out in your life that you didn't foresee working out. This is for possibly somebody or a group of you. You may have a long-term relationship ending or passing away, and this is making you feel left out in the cold, or making you feel as though you don't know what to do now. But I am getting that little things are working out, lots of little things. For instance, getting a raise at work, or something that you first saw as being difficult ends up being easy, or all of a sudden people are recognizing you for all of your hard work and effort towards making things better. You're being appreciated, you're being acknowledged. You may have little things working out. If you need a job, you might find your dream job all of a sudden. If you're looking for a place to live, you may find your dream home. Or you just find things working out much easier. Things, perhaps the spirits and your guides are taking it easy on you at this time. And even though there really isn't much to be done about whatever it is falling away, they're making sure that you have little victories along the way that give you a sense of success, or a sense of you do have things looking out for you. You do have good fortune in a lot of ways at this time. A lot of things that you have been going towards goal-wise are working out. Things that you have wished for, things that you have worked hard towards manifesting. They are manifesting rather easily. This is your best possible outcome, is to focus on on your wins or on your victories, the things that are working out. And that will significantly help balance the feeling of that you're losing everything. For some of you, I feel like you feel as though you're losing everything, or you're losing yourself. But wonderful things will happen to make things easier for you and to lead you in the right direction, or to finally be recognized for everything that you have been doing. So, in the near future, you are thinking about choices. Where would you like to travel to? Where would you like to go? What places would you like to go to that would uplift your spirits? What options do you have? What are your choices for the future? What can you look forward to? And this is what you have to focus on, is what to look forward to. The past is behind you. You still honor the past, and the past will always be with you. But now you're thinking about the future. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? What can you focus on? What are some of your fun goals that you would like for yourself? What choices do you have? What do you need to choose? And so Your clarifier for that is the Magician. And when I compare this to what is helping you, which is the Nine of Pentacles, it feels like you are fully on a path in the near future of honoring your own needs yourself, honoring what you have done, and also realizing that you do have a certain amount of personal power. You can manifest things in your life. You can make certain things happen. You can focus on your own independence and your own personal power and feel very empowered in the future. You may need to assert yourself, work a little bit more on making sure that you are valued by other people for what you do, and just to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, honor your own needs, feel empowered, feel like you can manifest what you want, or you do have a certain amount of power. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of tragedy or of difficult things happening in your life. You do have a say in what happens based off of your attitude or your outlook on things. You can choose to do this, which is wallow in your feelings of sadness or sorrow, or feeling left out, or feeling as though you don't have what you need. Or you can make happen what you need in one way or another. It may not be exactly the outcome that you want. It may be better than what you expect. But it's definitely about realizing your own power in this situation and what you can do, the things that you can do and can focus on. And working on yourself. You know, perhaps this situation of happiness in the past got you so enmeshed in being combined with another or other people or a situation that now that it is coming to a close, you're realizing, who am I? What do I want really? What do I want to be doing with myself? So I see you fully working on that in the future and feeling very empowered. Right now, there may be some of you that are falling in love, or someone else may be falling in love with you, or you may be starting to fall in love with your life. You may just be healing your heart or opening up your heart more to the magic and blessings that are in your life. I'm feeling as though perhaps while certain things are passing away or ending or crashing down, if it is most definitely outgrown, there is also something being born at the same time. If this happens to be a situation for someone where someone that you dearly love is passing away, I almost feel as though there is a baby being born around the same time. Or as well, if you have a long-term marriage or relationship ending, and there's nothing you can really do about it, it is possible for you to find a newer, better love that fulfills your needs the way that you are now and what you need now. Or just a feeling of you do have love. No matter what, you have love. You have people that love you. You are trying to nurture feelings of being loved by other people and feeling loving towards other people. To have a new feeling come into your life, of feeling blessed. So in your surroundings, you have the Four of Wands. Perhaps some of you are getting married, or some of you are settling down in a new home that is basically almost perfect compared to everything that you've always wanted for a home. Or you just are starting to feel really stable in your surroundings. Perhaps this thing that is changing for a while there made you feel as though you didn't have solid ground, or you didn't know how to maintain a semblance of order or a solid foundation for yourself. In your surroundings, you're finding a new solid foundation. This could even just be an internal feeling for you, a feeling of now it feels like the worst is over as far as falling apart, and you're starting to get your stuff back together again. or you're starting to feel solid again, or things are starting to make a little bit more sense as far as how to proceed from here. I definitely feel as though you have a lot of support and you have a lot of people around you that care about you, that want to see you feel solid. There's nothing more scary for people who depend on earth people to see an earth person be ungrounded, or see an earth person who is normally so solid and down to earth all of a sudden be up in the air, or be on a cracking foundation, or a ground that's shaking. Feels like you're finding your new solid foundation, or you're finding a new semblance of order or peace or stability for yourself, where you're starting to come back together. If for some reason somebody watching, or a few of you watching, has felt almost shattered by this, you are starting to put your pieces back together again and starting to feel yourself again. Or even better, create a new feeling of stability in your surroundings that's even better than what you had before, because now you can grow on it. So your fears and your hopes. Your hopes may be to stand your ground about something. There may be somebody that you need to speak up on the behalf of or maintain space for. If you have someone around you that is very close to you, extremely close to you, that where they are the ones that are falling apart or in a very unstable place, it's almost, I'm getting a story in my head of in old tribal times, or with close-knit communities and families, when somebody has, let's say, a hypothetical story of a mother who has lost her child to death. That is one of the worst things you could possibly imagine, is having one of your children or your child die before you do. And the grief involved and the feeling of being shattered is beyond description. This is the role that someone in the community, obviously there would be a number of people stepping in to help this mother. This is a hypothetical story I'm using to illustrate what I'm getting. There would be somebody in the kitchen making food or broth for the mother to eat, to make sure that she's drinking and eating food. There would be people there to let her cry on them if she needed to cry on someone. Someone there for her to punch and yell at if she's so angry about what happened. There would be somebody there to do this role, which is well-meaning people who want to give advice or meddle in the situation, or it feels as though a meddling situation to the person who is grieving. There would be somebody at the door to make sure that no one is allowed in unless the mother wants them to be there. There would be somebody at the door who would say, I'm sorry, you're not allowed in right now. She's not in a state to deal with anyone right now. It's kind of like while someone else is falling apart, someone has to be their guardian temporarily while they're losing it, to make sure that people stay away or stay at bay if she does not, or if he or she does not want to have to deal with anything or anybody. This is kind of a feeling that I'm getting about this, is your hopes may be that you can have the strength in you to maintain this role. If it is someone else that is falling apart around you, that means a great deal to you. Your hopes are to fend off any energy that would interfere, meddle with the situation, or just complicate the situation. And this can also be for yourself as well. If you feel as though internally you are falling apart at certain times, you may not want anyone to come near you and want to offer you their opinions, their advice, try to tell you what you should do, what you should think, how you should feel. You really just need some space in order to go through this process. Or your hopes may be that you could have some kind of an ally or a protector in your life to take this role for you, so that you don't even have to do that right now while you feel as though you're falling apart. And your fears. Your fears may be that you are constantly having to take this role of fending off energy or defending somebody or defending a situation. You may need someone to take this role for you a little bit, or to help you with this role, or just to take it over altogether. I don't know if this is making any sense. I really hope that it is. So if he barks, I'm just going to ignore him. I'm sure he's not going to die out there. He just had some kibble with smashed pumpkin, so unless he's all tangled up on his line, I'm just going to try to finish this. Hopefully this won't be too distracting for you. Now this, I'm not really sure. Okay, I could read this in a couple of different ways. One could be that while you're going through some kind of a painful ending, whether it's in your mentality, in your mental body, emotional body, physical body, or if it's something external to you, or all of those things, you are going through something painful right now. And while you're going through this, you are being rather secretive about what you're going through. You may not be opening up to people to let them know exactly where you're at. People may sense that something is going on with you, but they have no clue to what depths this goes to. And so try not to clutch what you're going through too close to your chest. This can become very unhealthy after a certain way, because no one knows what you're going through or is able to help you or give you any kind of empathy or compassion for what you're going through. That's one way of looking at this. Okay, I'm going to have to go deal with him. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll be right back. At least we're almost done. Okay, let's try to finish this up. So where was I? Let's see. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of you, and you may all be going through slightly or very different circumstances when it comes to this large archetype. You may all have different intricate stories that are connected to this, and I'm certain there will be a number of you that none of this applies for. But such is the nature of doing a general reading for a whole lot of people, and let's face it, I don't really know who's watching. So what I am getting and what I can tell you is that, generally speaking, as your general outcome, you can't avoid this process. This is part of what you're going through. Just as a general outcome, you are going through some kind of a painful ending. Whether it was intentional or accidental, whether it was personal or impersonal, whether it's whatever sphere of your life, I'm definitely getting that this is very emotional for you and probably doesn't necessarily have to do with career. I can't imagine someone's grief being this, or sadness being this deep and intricate over a career. I'm definitely feeling that this is somebody that you are connected to, or you are going through this concerning some type of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's somebody in the family, a child, somebody close to you, where things are changing significantly, or there has been some type of tragedy or slow tragedy that has been going on. This can also be deep-seated old grief in your own being that you are having to sift through now. But in any case, I'm getting that there's some kind of a painful ending, and you're being quiet about this. You may not be talking to other people about how deep this really goes for you and how painful this really is for you. You may be downright lying. I don't necessarily mean it in that way, but you may be putting a brave face on for other people where they have no clue on what you're actually going through. You may also be keeping this to yourself in especially public situations around people that you're not sure if they're really dependable for you or not, or really there for you or not, in which case, why would you ever open up about something like this with strangers or with people that you don't know that well, or people where you're not really sure how they would take it. You know, obviously, if you're battling with things like depression or feeling as though you're falling apart on the inside, you're not going to go around telling everybody about this, because there's always going to be those foolish people that want to tell you to just get over it, or to just keep on, that can't deal with your intense emotions, so they're going to try to subdue you. What you really need at this time is support. You may not even need anybody to talk to. There may not be anything that you have to hash out about this. It's just something that you're going through, in which case you may just need somebody to sit with silently who can just hug you or be there in case you do need to vent. But those are going to be close, important people to you that you trust. I definitely am getting, though, that you may be holding this a little too close to your chest, and you may not be opening up about this very much. In which case, this is why this is your other clarifier, is you need to reach out to your dearest, closest friends, whether it's family members, people that you are blood related to, or just soul family or spirit family. You do need some kind of emotional support here. And this is what, and also you need to still celebrate. You still need to occasionally do the things that bring you joy. Go out into situations, even if you don't feel like it at first, where other people are enjoying themselves, so you can soak up some of that energy. Not to say that I'm assuming that you are completely depressed and you're not happy at all and your whole life is a mess. I'm not getting this here. I'm getting that you're actually being very strong about this, and you may be continuing to do all of the things that you have to do to upkeep your life while you are battling with this internally. And you've also been putting a great deal of effort into staying calm and staying collected and trying to stay optimistic as well. But I am getting, if there is a birth in the family, or a dear friend of yours is having a baby, there may be a baby shower that you can go to. And I'm not assuming that you're a woman either. This is for both men and women Virgos. You may need to go out, if you're a guy, you may need to go out with your guy friends for a night just to forget about everything and enjoy yourself. Try not to drink too much, though, or party too much to drown your sorrows away. But okay, so you're definitely getting the gist of what I'm saying here. Another thing that stood out to me is that by chance, if there's somebody watching where you do have a marriage or a long-term relationship falling apart now, and therefore it makes sense that you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Magician in the future, because you're having to rediscover yourself again after pouring so much of your energy into this relationship and into the partnership in general. You may be worried that you have acquaintances or friends of the two of you when you were together. This is very specific and obviously isn't going to apply for everyone, but I feel like this needs to be said for somebody or a group of you. You may be worried that some of your acquaintances and friends may be secretly trying to be with your ex-partner, or steal your ex-partner, or not being honest with you about what their intentions are. Or you may be afraid of being betrayed by friends that you thought were friends of yours. Or there's something that your friends are not telling you about this painful ending. He's got a hold of one of my daughter's present wrappings, and he's tearing it apart. My daughter is actually with my ex tonight, and so she's not here to help me with him. She did come over to have cake with me, though. So I want to check to see if this is in your imagination or if this is actually something that may be going on. Okay? You may be afraid that some of your friends are going to take sides or side up with your ex. There may be, I feel like this is really specific for someone. Hopefully you can hear me over the racket in the background. I'm just trying to wrap this up. You may be afraid that friends of yours are siding with your ex or feel as though your ex or the person that you have had the relationship with that is falling apart. You're afraid of being betrayed by friends, and you're also afraid of your friends not being honest with you about possibly thinking that your ex is a better parent than you, or that you've been acting childish, or that the other person has been acting childish and they don't realize this. Something. You know more than me on what this is, but I definitely feel as though the remedy for this is to get out of the house, enjoy yourself, focus on the friends that truly feel like friends. Don't focus on the acquaintances and the people's opinions that really have no clue on what's going on for you or what has been going on. Use your judgment in making sure that you're surrounding yourself with friends and family and people that you love where you can completely trust them, to be upfront with you, honest with you, to see it for what it is. You may want to pick up some kind of a hobby or some kind of thing that you enjoy to distract yourself from this. You may be possibly overthinking things or dwelling on things a little too much. You definitely need to make some major decisions about what friends you surround yourself with so that you can feel free to let your inner child out and to be vulnerable and feel held by other people. So I'm going to let that be. Just remember that your best possible outcome is the Six of Wands. Just keep on trying to stay positive. Grieve when you have to grieve. Feel sad when you have to feel sad. Don't listen to other people's opinions on what you should be doing. You know what is best for you. I definitely am getting that you need to reach out a little bit more, though. And you need to let your vulnerability show sometimes instead of being so strong all the time. And you are set up to have really good things happen for you right now. I feel like not only your guides, but the universe realize that you are kind of stretched thin internally at this time. And they want to give you as many blessings as possible based off of all of the things that you have done to help yourself, to help other people, to be a good beneficial influence for the world. They want to see you do really well, and you are going to have breakthroughs and wonderful things happen to help you along the way. So hopefully that made sense. That felt very specific to me. I wish you all the best. Many, many blessings to you. And you guys are some of the most selfless, helpful, considerate, wonderful people I have ever known in my life. In my family, I am the only fire sign in my family. Almost all the women in my family are Virgos. My mother is a Virgo. My Aunt Denise, who helped raise me, is also a Virgo, and my daughter is a Virgo. I understand your energy extremely well because it runs so rampant in my family. And I don't know what I would have ever done without you guys. Sometimes I think you don't realize just what an impact you have on other people, on how much you have truly helped other people and the wonderful qualities that you have. So please try not to overthink things. Try not to criticize yourself. Give yourself a break and just reach out if you need help. You are so helpful yourself. You deserve to get that in return, especially when you most need it. I'm going to have to go now before the puppy wrecks my apartment, so I'll see you soon. Take care. Stay tuned if you would like for a little blurb I have at the end of this. Okay, take care. Happy birthday. Hello, everyone. This is just a little end note for you to let you know that as well as being an intuitive, I'm also an artist, and I've just been commissioned to make 30 wind spirits that are sculptures that hang from the ceiling. And so I need to get that done in order to be able to pay my bills and feed my kid and all of that wonderful stuff. So I'm just letting you know I'm putting out all of your general readings for September out all at once, and then I'm going to be finishing this commission and then hopefully getting your bonus readings out by next week at the latest. The good thing about that is that you'll probably be able to see my sculptures behind me when you do get your bonus readings, and see if you like my art at all. Also, I wanted some feedback about the bonus videos. I do know that there are people who watch those. I would love to get some feedback on whether or not I should even be including health at the end there. I know that people are interested in the love and relationships and in the career and money. I'm just wondering if doing the health reading at the end is really necessary, or if people are watching those, or if they help in any way. If people are more interested in career and money and relationships, I would rather focus on those two things for you. So if anyone's brave enough to mention to me whether or not you actually watch the health sections, whether they're valuable to you, whether I should cut them out altogether and just focus on the other two. So I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Oh, I also wanted to say that I realize these are still late. Living in such a rural area, it's actually hard. Jobs are hard to come by here, and so I do a lot of odd jobs and things on the side in order to pay my bills, as well as doing readings and art. But I am going to be putting an option down below in the description box in case there's anybody out there that would like to donate to my channel at all. I realize it's kind of early to be asking for that at this point, but it would help me out quite a bit if you have it to give, and if these benefit you in any way and you appreciate these readings. Even if it was $5, I could use anything at this point. Also, I'm also an astrologer, and I have been one for professionally for at least 18 years now. I would like to get to a point with prosperity where I can take extra time out in order to possibly put some free courses on this channel for astrology, numerology, many other things. I actually read palms. I read astrology charts of all different kinds. I read tarot cards, and I also read tea leaves. So if there's anything about those things that you would like to know about, I've noticed that on YouTube there's not a whole lot available on things like Lilith in your chart, or Eros and Psyche, or any of the asteroids. So if there is anyone out there that would like to see videos about those concepts, donating to the channel would really help me with that. It would give me enough time and space to be able to sit down and knock them out instead of scrambling around on the side trying to come up with enough. So thank you for patiently listening to me ramble, and I will see you soon with your bonus readings. For now, hopefully this will suffice. And next time I see you, you'll see some wind spirits. Okay, take care. I love you guys. Bye.